I guess one could say that this is an update on the last video that I made about Sargon, but there were further attacks on him whilst on the campaign trail. He came hot off the heels of the media smearing campaign and Tommy Robinson getting assaulted in Warrington. The far left, emboldened by the media smearing and justifications for attacking anyone that engages in wrongthink. First it happened in Truro, a town in Cornwall, where far leftist thugs, some of whom were part of Antifa, like what Unite Against Fascism did to Tommy Robinson, and also threw kippers at him. Kippers are fish, by the way, a reference to the nickname UKIP or kippers that UKIP supporters call themselves. This attempt to throw Milkshake ended up in a brief scuffle with Reverend Simon Sideways and War Plan Purple subduing him. Not only that, there are attempts to derail the day by playing music, chanting and trying to be violent, with the woman getting to Sargon's face at one point as well.
Did I ask? See? No, do I just ask? No, I don't. I'm not. Is that acceptable? I'm not at all. I don't think that's acceptable. I'm not blaming you as the victim. I'm not blaming any victim. What I am saying is,
But of course this was not even the first instance of Sargon and the gang having to go through this intimidation. In Bristol, Sargon had to deal with incredibly aggressive Antifa thugs who were literally challenging him to fight.
You think you can come over to me and chat to me and then have your bodyguard? Try it without fucking try it. Try it without your bodyguard or fuck off. Then fuck off. Look, fuck off. I don't know.
So it's not like this has been a recent thing or anything, as some outlets seem to be suggesting, nor does that mean that his campaign has been a disaster, as Sputnik claims. Being harassed and attacked by far-left thugs doesn't mean you are not reaching the hearts and minds of the people. The events get good views on YouTube and decent turnouts, and people seem to be enjoying the debating style canvassing that Sargon is doing. But anyway, back to the events themselves. There were further attacks in Plymouth and Totnes. Totnes was especially egregious. It was here that Sargon was doused in milkshake and horse manure was thrown at him and his group. Not only that, the tyres of their touring van were slashed and apparently some of the crew, Simon Sideways especially, were physically assaulted by the far left.
So the campaign so far, that ticking noise by the way is the hazard lights. I've got the RAC coming out because I've had 2 slashed tyres. So yesterday, well let's just say in the last 4 days, I've been spat on, kicked, punched, barged, milkshaked, horse shit thrown at me and all over my vehicle and in the door handles and everything, dog shit thrown at me, I've had wankers throwing loud hailers in my face, and every other form of abuse you could possibly get by the ever-tolerant left. And for what? For following a centrist around. What the fuck has society come down to? I mean, you wouldn't think that little old Tot Ness would be quite so rabid, but hey, it's unbelievable. In the end, we had every lunatic fucking nut job that they could muster come rocking up on us and attack us. And they think they've got the moral high ground because they just simply don't subscribe to the same views. They try and shut you down completely. And at the end of the day, this is just fascism. Call it what you, they call themselves anti-fascists. But they're not open to debate either. So you can't even talk to them. These people were absolutely rabid insane. So, we're on to Exeter now. Probably get chucked in the quay, I should imagine, or something like that. So, if I make it out of this alive, I'll see you soon. Bye.
Totnes, people. Totnes was the scene of some of the worst attacks they have had to deal with. And just so you know how mad British society has become, Totnes has a population of 8,076 people. And yet it was the scene of some of the most hostile Antifa and other far-left activist activity on the entire tour. I think when places like Totnes and Truro have these crazies literally invading it to attack centrist candidates, we have a huge issue. But at least we can be safe in the knowledge that groups like Antifa are not the majority in this country. Unfortunately, they have the backing of major political parties like Labour, and the police will turn a blind eye to their activity. In Plymouth, it was not so bad as far as I can tell, but there was a man who tried to attack Sargon. He was quickly dealt with.
Because of these mental health problems. I mean, it might have been like national action or whatever for the Joe Cox thing, but it could all easily be someone like, I mean, there have been lots of shootings in America by left-wingers inspired by left-wing rhetoric. Do we hold them accountable?
The American system is completely. I don't know where to start with it. To be honest, I don't even know where to start with the American system.
I'm not interested in judging the American system. What I'm suggesting, you know, this is your turn.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah, but he's certainly not like this about it. So you disavow it. So you don't disavow it. You don't disavow what he's doing here. Like, yeah, you should take responsibility for this man being inspired by your words and actions. I'm saying don't be violent, sir. I'm saying do not be violent. There is no place for violence in a democracy. My people are not bringing violence, it's your people. You're bringing violence, sir. Why are you not disavowing that nation? Why are you not disavowing that man? Oh, good. So you condemn that violent man there. There are no such things as violent words, sir. No word for what is called violence. This is all about
The police, meanwhile, were much more interested in confiscating edgy signs than trying to protect people from thugs.
Pointing, you suck. Who's got a difficult question for him?
What? Who's got a question from my way?
Proper challenge. You? Yeah. Ask him something more challenging.
Sargon. Yes. I'm not putting you into the whole identity thing because I know that you're an individual.
Stay outside. Stay outside. Oh, that was.
Sorry.
Yes. As an individualist, you understand that identity politics is cancerous.
Absolutely.
It's antithetical to speech, to the values that made this country great, and to everyone's prosperity.
So, man tries to attack Sargon, the police sleep. When the police see a girl with a sign that says Allah is gay, whoa, they're on alert mode now, got to confiscate it. I think if one wanted to make some kind of book or video on the state of modern British politics and society, just looking at the campaigns of Robinson, Sargon and Dankula will provide ample amounts of material. And not only that, you can compare it to the other parties to see how they fared against radical elements and with the public. Oh, and whilst this was happening, online, Sargon's channel was finally fully demonetised by YouTube after they had previously done it to Dankula. Here's Here's what Sargon had to say about it. YouTube let us know today that they have demonetized my YouTube channel, which as you know is my primary source of income and how I support my family and team. I've always taken care to comply with YouTube's rules, and the only thing I've done differently recently is standing for public office. Companies as large as YouTube have to rely heavily on the algorithms that are vulnerable to mass reporting from malicious actors. Given how much of a hate mob has been stirred up against me due to the frankly dishonest reporting about my candidacy, it is hardly a surprise that this has happened. There's a 30-day period after which YouTube will consider my appeal, and I will cooperate fully with whatever procedure they put in place to achieve a restitution. I have had very few community strikes in the past 5 years, and my channel spends most of its time in good standing. My team and I are in touch with YouTube, and I'm confident we will rectify the misunderstanding soon. It really was only a matter of time, and of course I am completely against this. I don't believe that YouTube should be demonetizing channels that have different political points of view that are peaceful in the way they go about their discourse. I believe there's a difference between what Sargon does and what ISIS does, but we all know the apocalypse that created this YouTube policy is basically founded on flimsy ground anyway. Not only that, but Sargon's security man who I referred to earlier was also slandered. The Reverend was accused of being anti-Semitic in a video where he discusses a study that showed 1 in 20 British adults did not believe the Holocaust existed or was grossly exaggerated. He never denied it. In fact, he said it should be open to inquiry and that he did not know. One can rather absurdly argue he is being too sceptical of an event, as incredible amounts of documentary evidence over the last 70 years to back it up, but he never denied it. Never said anything hateful towards the Jews, and it is being attacked as an anti-Semite to discredit Sargon just for saying that it deserves, like any other event in history, investigation and inquiry. I think we can chalk this off as projection by the left and move on. In Exeter, things were quieter and much funnier than the other cities. The worst that happened, as far as I can determine, was that Sargon was deplatformed by the university there and could not debate in the cathedral that was going to host him. Also, we were greeted by this absolute gem. During his appearance in Exeter, Mr. Benjamin had to be separated from protesters by police after he reportedly tried to debate with them. The British police, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I've got time for today, and by the way, spoilers for the next video. As I recently declared in a previous video, I have declared war on all kinds of fake news and lies. Next video will be on Rationality Rules, a philosophy channel, kind of like Gary Edwards, but not as red-pilled. He's on the left, but by all accounts, he seems like a thoroughly decent kid and a man of principle. He's recently been deplatformed for a video he made about transgender athletes and has provoked the ire of the atheist far left. The last vestiges of the SJWs in New Atheism and Atheism Plus, particularly Essence of Thought, though he's not the only person to be attacked. Friend of the channel, Crenshaw Paw, is one of them as well, who was attacked by these SJWs like Essence of Thought, who've been doing nothing but slandering and attacking anybody who commits wrongthing. But anyway, that video will be next on the list to be released, so stay tuned guys, and I'll see you later.